Today we're talking about tarot for self-care and personal growth. I thought about doing this because I realized that I do use tarot a lot when it comes to self-care, and I thought it would be something interesting that people might want to know. And our first slide here is who am I? So I'm YQ. I started learning tarot at 16 years ago, and I started running tarot workshops from 2017, and I'm now focused on teaching tarot to help people access tarot as a self-development tool. So I also teach basically the meanings and of course how we can use tarot as a self-development tool. Before we start, first of all, what is self-care? So self-care, most people they think about self-care, it's like bubble baths or I don't know, just bubble baths. The only thing I can think about is bubble baths. Self-care, as described from the internet, is any activity that we do deliberately in order to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. So tarot as a tool for self-care and personal growth is interesting because it's kind of more on the mental and emotional side versus the physical side. Because if it's the physical side, maybe the card tells you to go running. So that might be one of it, but usually I use it for mental and emotional health. And there are some misconception when it comes to tarot. So number one, that tarot is only for predicting the future. That is a lot of the misconceptions because people feel that, ooh, tarot is about so basically if people don't know tarot, they come to me and then the first question they ask is tell me about my love life versus trying to explore versus how I use it is that understanding the present so you can make better choices for the future. So if it's a love life thing, we'll examine what's happening now, what might be blocking you, and what steps you can take versus what's happening to my love life in 3 months, because good things might happen, but if you don't take action, it's not going to happen as well. And the misconception number two for tarot is that tarot bring messages from spirit. So there are people who are psychic who are basically amazing at getting messages from out there, sources. But for myself, I use tarot as a tool for us to access our inner voice for guidance that's in alignment of our highest good. So those two are misconceptions about tarot. And then let's see. So how I use tarot for self-care and personal growth. There are two main things I do. First of it is understanding the now, and second of it is using it as motivation for the present and future. So what do I mean by understanding the now? So a lot of times when we are just feeling not that great, when we do need self-care is that we are anxious about maybe something that's happening now or something that, happened in the past that's also affecting us now, or we feel anxious about what's going to be in the future. So I feel that if you're using tarot for self-care, it grounds you in the now. So understanding the now, I have 2 points here. One is that how to alleviate anxiety using tarot, and then the number two is diving into the subconscious using tarot. So I do want to have a disclaimer is that I'm not a licensed practitioner when it comes to mental health issues. These are just what I do when it comes to using tarot for self-care. Because when I was preparing for this, I thought, I should just Google some spreads, tell you guys how to use those spreads as, self-care. But I realized that I have things to share as well. So particular ways I use tarot for self-care. So let's go to point number one, how I use tarot to understanding the now, and then it's to alleviate anxiety. So basically, I have a tarot spread that is super useful for this. It's the true or false spread. So the true or false spread, I used it last night basically because there was one of the reasons why you might feel anxiety is that you think something is this. So, for example, I thought that when someone posted a message that wasn't very positive, I thought it was me. I thought, oh my goodness, how can this person say that? And then I was angry for 2 whole hours. I was just like, Urgh. And then I decided to pull out my cards. So, basically, if you have a perception in your head that's causing you anxiety, what you can do is pull a true or false spread, which is a 3-card spread. We pull first card is this true? Second card is this false? And then the third card is what I can do about it. For my situation, because I felt that the person was are they talking about me? And I was just like, are they not? So I pulled the true or false first, and then the funniest thing was for true, it was 8 of Swords, and for false, it was the Star. So basically, when this happens, the Star is a major arcana card, I would just lean towards it. So basically the person wasn't talking about me. And the yes side was that, so the yes side, the funny thing about the yes side is it's the Eight of Swords. So it could be that person was talking about me, but not like to the extent that it was very bad. If they were talking about me, it's more about like in my head. So it's like Eight of Swords is like feeling trapped by mental things. So basically I feel like they weren't talking about me, but I felt it was. So it meant that it felt real for me, versus like whether it's true or not, how you perceive it is the truth for yourself. So in the end, I decided to just follow the cards and think of it as no. And I don't even remember what the third card was. So basically, if you have this kind of problem where you pull two cards and then, for example, does he hate me? And then you pull a true. The true is like positive, so it means that they hate you. You can pull one more card to see, what can I do about it, or why is that happening, because we want to get to the root of why it's happening. And the funny thing is, sometimes the card will tell you maybe, the person is just nasty, or the card could tell you that maybe you are the one who need like to make changes. So that's one way I use tarot to like alleviate my anxiety. So I also use tarot to dive into the subconscious. So I use an adapted version of the Celtic Cross, which I teach in my workshops. It's called a mini Celtic Cross. Basically, I only use the left side of the Celtic Cross, which I find more useful, versus trying to have like 10 cards and just like making you so like confused. So basically, a mini Celtic Cross is useful when you don't really have anything you want to ask, but you just feel like, there's some anxiety happening, and I would just want to know what's happening. So the mini Celtic Cross is first card is what do I need to know now? Number 2 is what's blocking me. Number 3 is what's in my subconscious. Number 4 is what's in the past. Number 5 is what do I present to others. So the thing about what is in my subconscious and what do I present to others, it's where, sometimes in your feelings you are feeling like super turmoily, but outside you just like present a facade of peacefulness. So that is a contrast that you need to like gel together, because you can't really put on a mask for other people, and then but inside you're just feeling like shit about yourself. So basically that's why we pull the subconscious card, and then like how you present to others. And the card number 6 is what's in the future. So I like to use the mini Celtic Cross because basically it's like when you don't have a question to ask and you just want to like explore what's happening. Because sometimes the funny thing is that when the cards come out, it can trigger something inside you. It can trigger something that you thought wasn't a problem anymore, but you realize that, oh, it's actually, maybe something I just really, really need to get to the root of, to like get it out so that you can have a better future. You can be like more caring of yourself. So those are the two ways I use the cards for self-care. How I use tarot for personal growth. So this is focused more on personal growth. I use the cards as motivation for the present and future. So if you're doing this, what I would recommend is that choosing a card of the year or a guidance card basically for a season. So for myself, for example, in 2018, I chose the strength card, especially from the after tarot, to represent me in the whole year. So basically when there were challenges happening, I just remind myself that my card of the year is strength, and then of course the mantra is that I'm able to conquer anything that comes. So anytime I have problems, I just pause and I think about I'm strength, I'm able to conquer anything that comes. So that's why very helpful to have that card to anchor you as well. And for this card, I really recommend choosing a card versus like trying to like shuffle and then pull one card. So you choose something that really speaks to you. So for example, this year I was supposed to choose something else. This year I had wanted to choose, I think it was the Empress. I felt that I want to bring more love to my life. But at the end, I decided that I was going to choose the Magician as my card of the year. And the Magician that I chose is actually a card that's designed by Yoshi Yoshitani. They are going to like release like a full tarot deck, and it's super gorgeous. It's based on fairy tales, so I use this as my phone like cover as well. So basically what I use it for is the Magician. So the Magician is like a creator. They have the power to make things happen. And the mantra for myself with the Magician is that I have the power to create. I am magical. I know it sounds pretty silly, I'm magical, but I feel that that is useful for me because sometimes when you feel that, you know, you're at maybe like the road's end, you don't know what to do, you have to remind yourself that you are the magician, you have the power to create, and you are magical. So just keep reminding yourself that. It's kind of like a positive affirmation, but in tarot card style. So those are some ways you can use tarot self-care and personal growth. Do you have any tarot self-care routines? Let me know in the comments. Send me a DM if you're on Instagram. Let me know. I'm very curious.